uncertain last night, though leaning toward Jaylen Brown. And Tony, you could give this to Jaylen Brown, you could give it to Tatum, you could give it to Holiday. And as you mentioned, Derek White had a hell of a series. Yeah. So you could go a lot of different ways here. Jaylen Brown had 4 good games. He had good games in all good performances in all the games the Celtics won. And he did this other thing. He said, okay, old school, I'll take Luka. I know how great he is. I'll take him. I'll take him 60 or 75 feet. I'll take him. And he threw Luka off enough in that series for the Celtics to dominate the series. That, to me, helped swing it. So, yeah. And by the way, nobody's complaining about the Dallas Mavericks coach saying that Jaylen Brown's the best player anymore, because I know it was gamesmanship.
I was.
But maybe he was right.
So this is one of those occasions where I don't like the award at all. And it has nothing to do with Jaylen Brown.
I was glad I didn't have to vote.
It has nothing to do with Jaylen Brown. It has to do with what the Celtics did in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The entirety of the playoffs, when they went 4-1, 4-1, 4-0, 4-1. They were great. They were dominant on all levels. Now, you can tell me certain people were injured when they came up against them.
That's fair.
But it wasn't the case in the finals. So, to me, Game 1 was won by Porzingis. Game 2 was won by Holiday. Jaylen Brown was the best player in Game 3, and Jason Tatum was the best player in Game 4. This is one of those years where I would give the award collectively, and White was ferocious on offense and defense. I would give the award collectively to the Boston Celtics, and I would not have picked one over any of the others.
I was glad I didn't have a vote. And I'm talking to a longtime Celtics season ticket holder. I don't know his name, but I know his face, and we chit-chat during games for years. And he said to me late in the game, who are you going to vote for? And I said, I wonder if by rule you can split the vote between Tatum and Brown, because that's the way I felt. But I've had some time now. Jaylen Brown deserved it. He deserved that award.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve it.
Right.
I'm saying others were deserving as well. That's all I'm saying.
Can't argue that one. That's it. It's a wrap. We're done. Back to you.
Thanks, gents. All right, back to the NFL. Several quarterbacks also waiting on new deals in the NFL. Cowboys' Dak Prescott entering his 9th season, free agent at the end of the year. The Dolphins' Tua Tagovailoa entering his 5th season. The Packers' Jordan Love entering his 4th season and coming off that stunning win over the Cowboys in the playoffs. Adam Schefter is back with us, and you told us moments ago, really, the Cowboys are nowhere with these new deals with CeeDee Lamb, with Micah Parsons. But let's start with their quarterback, Dak Prescott. Why is that situation just so unique among all the negotiations we talked about?
Hannah, very rarely do you see a quarterback get to free agency, and very rarely does a quarterback get a no-trade clause in his contract, and very rarely does a quarterback get a no-tag clause in his contract. Well, Dak Prescott has a no-trade clause. They can't trade him. He's got a no-tag clause, which means the Dallas Cowboys cannot place either their transition or franchise tag on Dak Prescott after this season. That means that Dak Prescott, after this year, if he's not re-signed in Dallas, can become a true unrestricted free agent, go to the highest bidder in a market where every team always seems to be looking to upgrade its quarterback, unless you have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. And Dak Prescott almost will be willing to name his price. There is not a player in football with more leverage with his situation than Dak Prescott, and that is why that situation this year is going to be incredibly fascinating to watch, because if he wants, he can leave after the year. Dallas can't stop him. He can go where he wants, for what he wants, name his price, and that is why we have said and will continue to say that Dak Prescott has more leverage than any player in football.
And a guy who finished second in MVP voting last year, and for him, like you said, the longer he waits, the longer they wait, that price just keeps going up and up. Shefty, thanks. Meanwhile, the U.S. golf team is set for the Paris Olympics. It'll be comprised of world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, world number 3, Xander Schauffele, world number 5, Wyndham Clark, and world number 7, Colin Morikawa, the 4 highest-ranking U.S. players. Here is Schauffele on playing for his country at Le Golf National in August.
it's always an honor to represent your country in any given tournament or event. So it was a really cool thing I was able to share with my family after winning the gold medal. And qualifying was my first goal this year. It's a very hard team to qualify for, as you guys have seen on this U.S. side. And it was a really big goal of mine to get back, and really looking forward to competing again.
Now, if you're wondering why your U.S. Open champ Bryson DeChambeau is not on the team, it is based on the top 4 Americans in the world golf rankings, and he doesn't get any of those points because he plays on the LIV Tour. 3 of the 4 players selected have won a PGA Tour event this calendar year. The only one who hasn't is Morikawa. Coming up on SportsCenter, how this playoff run can help Luka and Kyrie take the Mavs championship aspirations to the next level. Legs is back in moments, and how the Oilers are planning to, in their words, drag the Panthers back to Alberta.